Hello, I'm Dan Rather. Welcome to the CBS Evening News online edition. Just ahead, did or did not the U.S. have enough troops in Iraq on the ground at a critical time? And does it have enough troops now? A rift opens in the Bush administration about this. Also, the other presidential election, the one in Afghanistan, and just 4 days away. Also, they could elect the next American president. So why don't many single women vote? It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News online edition. The vice presidential candidates just got something big to talk about at their debate tonight, something neither side expected. A rift inside the Bush administration over the handling of the war in Iraq. Paul Bremer, once President Bush's top man there, now says he warned his superiors back in Washington that the United States did not have enough troops in Iraq to establish control. CBS News national security correspondent David Martin begins our coverage.
Reopening an old wound over whether the U.S. sent a large enough force to deal with the consequences of toppling Saddam Hussein. Bremer now says we never had enough troops on the ground. In remarks he thought were off the record, Bremer described what he called horrid looting and said we paid a big price for not stopping it because it established an atmosphere of lawlessness. 17 of Iraq's 23 ministries were looted, vastly complicating the task of rebuilding Iraq, although at the time Defense Secretary Rumsfeld downplayed it.
Stuff happens, and it's untidy, and freedom's untidy, and free people are free to make mistakes and commit crimes and do bad things. They're also free to live their lives and do wonderful things, and that's what's going to happen here.
Bremer also said, I raised this issue a number of times with our government. According to the Pentagon, any demands Bremer made for more troops were referred to military commanders who decided they had enough.
This is Basra where our main power problems are.
As the senior American in Iraq reporting directly to Rumsfeld, Bremer was the point man for a number of controversial policies. Disbanding the Iraqi army, which created hordes of unemployed young men angry at the Americans for taking away their paychecks. Disbarring some 30,000 members of Saddam's Ba'athist Party from holding government office, which deprived Iraq of badly needed expertise in running the government. On top of that, officials blame Bremer for what they describe as poisonous and dysfunctional relations between his civilian organization and the military occupation forces. These officials accuse Bremer of being abusive and short-fused, to the point that two organizations supposed to be working together for the reconstruction of Iraq were barely on speaking terms. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
U.S. forces in Iraq are trying to establish enough security for elections to be held in January. Security is also a major concern in Afghanistan, which this Saturday will hold the first election in its history, ready or not. And today, the leading candidate delivered his first campaign speech. CBS's Lara Logan has the inside story.
President Hamid Karzai told cheering supporters that a future Afghanistan will not be ruled by guns. Today, surrounded by heavily armed American bodyguards and with U.S. Apache helicopter gunships circling overhead, the Afghan president made his first campaign appearance.
Many Afghans believe that President Karzai will win this election because he has the backing of the all-powerful United States. And that's a double-edged sword. Karzai's challenge will be proving to his people that he's not the American puppet some believe.
With ongoing violence, security and intimidation are still major issues here, leading some to question the timing of the election.
In a way, we're forcing Afghanistan to give birth to democracy prematurely, when I think a lot of the preconditions for free and fair and safe elections are not in place.
The U.S. has over 16,000 troops in Afghanistan, and this year alone has committed $1.7 billion in aid. Just recently, American Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad made several public appearances with the president, adding to the perception America's trying to influence this election.
10 million people have registered to vote in Afghanistan in the upcoming presidential election.
There's concern that optimism will overshadow major problems here, like the growing power of unpopular warlords and the escalating drug crisis.
I think it's a very important issue that we not equate elections with success in Afghanistan. And there's a real danger that we not check that box of elections and then say mission accomplished and and use that as our exit strategy for Afghanistan.
However flawed the conditions for the elections, Afghan people have shown overwhelming support for the process. After 2 decades of civil war, a successful election now could be the turning point Afghanistan needs to strengthen a still fragile peace. Lara Logan, CBS News, Ghazni, Afghanistan.
In Campaign 04, the presidential candidates are targeting anyone who is still undecided, not only about whom to vote for, but whether to vote at all. With that in mind, CBS News correspondent Mika Brzezinski reports the candidates are courting millions of single women. They could swing the election if they get to the polls.
53-year-old Socorro Marquez and 30-year-old Allison James are both single and being heavily pursued by 2 men, George W. Bush and John Kerry. The problem is, both women have commitment issues.
I found no reason to vote since I was 18.
I didn't vote in the last presidential election.
They are 2 of the 22 million single women in this country who made the choice not to vote last time. President Bush is turning on the charm with his W Stands for Women campaign. John Kerry has his own internet counterpart, using websites and even their own wives to woo what's long been the unattainable vote.
It's time that our voices be heard in full and at last.
My husband believes that we should all have an equal opportunity to achieve our dreams.
While there's been a lot of talk about soccer moms morphing into security moms worried about terrorism, single women say they've heard too much about it.
There's a disconnect. They are not hearing about the issues that affect their daily lives.
Here are some of the reasons why women say they don't vote. They think their votes don't matter.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
They see no connection between their lives and the election process.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
They often use the phrase, the politicians have never walked in our shoes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You're a single mother. You have 4 boys. What do the candidates need to focus on that would mean anything to you?
Health insurance, daycare, housing.
Maybe we need a female candidate.
The single women's vote is getting a lot of attention, from headlines, women's magazines, from Glamour to Ms. to old-fashioned get-out-the-vote drives.
We really do encourage you to get out and vote. Okay.
And for Allison, it's worked. So will you vote?
I plan to.
But not Socorro. Once again, she's not voting. Neither candidate has been able to win her over. Mika Brzezinski, CBS News, New York.
More stories are just a click away. But don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. On Wednesday's broadcast, the tax cuts. Should they all stay or should some of them go? Where the candidates stand in the CBS series, What Does It Mean to You? For CBSNews.com, I'm Dan Rather.